Today I'm going to talk to you about a new book titled Trinities to Enneagrams. The cover of the book looks like this. And as we know that all nature moves in circles. All nature moves in circles, which is the foundation of the Enneagram. It's a circular system, pretty much like astrology, pretty much like the months of the year, like the seasons, and all of life. The Enneagram itself is an upgraded version of the Trinity. The Trinity has got many names, from the Holy Trinity, and there's several universal Trinities throughout various cultures. The Trinity is a three-based system based on the law of three, and with the Trinity we have a cause which leads to a middle level of laws that create something with the causes, and eventually we have a result. And the Trinity can be best understood by, I think, looking at the four seasons to begin with. So with the four seasons, what we have is springtime, then we move into summer, then we move into autumn, then we move into winter. And within each of those four seasons, there are 3 months that can be referred to as three Trinities. We have three Trinities in spring, three Trinities in the summer, and three Trinities in the autumn, three Trinities in the winter. And they're each 30 days, and they give us the 12 months. And in terms of the zodiac or astrology, we have 12 zodiac signs. From Aries to Taurus to Gemini, moving on into all of the signs up through Pisces. And with the Enneagram, instead of having 4 seasons, you have 3 seasons. But each month, instead of being 30 days, is 40 days. So it's a 40-day segment. We have 3 40-day segments, which gives us 120 days in the first third of the year, 120 days in the middle third of the year, and 120 days basically in the last third of the year. That's the basis of the Trinity. So with the Trinity, the first part of the Trinity is really the creation part, where we start off with a cause. We start off with setting something into motion. Some kind of action is what's necessary to get the Trinity going. And then once something is set in motion, laws take place to follow the dictates of what was set in motion. And eventually when the two commingle, the initial action, the initial receptiveness to the action, and the two mingle, we have a result. And we can think of it simply as the father phase, the mother phase, and the child phase. That's one simple way of looking at the Trinity, or the feminine phase, the masculine phase, and the child phase, or the manifestation phase, the result material phase. Now, with the law of three, which is also called the Trinity, we have a situation where all change, growth, and reconciliation happen one after the other in a sequence. So every cause leads to ultimately an effect. But between cause and effect, there's a law of the universe that allows the cause to be collected into many, many pieces, and those many, many pieces ultimately give us a result or an effect. But between cause and effect, or between thoughts and thinking, there's a process known as the law, a spiritual law, or a process known as the process of making thoughts into forms. And when thoughts get converted into forms, eventually we get a manifestation. And all manifestation takes place in 3 stages with the Trinity. In a larger context, we can say all manifestation takes place in 9 stages, because within the 9 stages there are 3 sets of Trinities. So the Trinity is just, as I mentioned, a breakdown of the larger 9 segments of the year. Now, what they say in the Tao Te Ching is something very simple. That's a version of the Trinity. They simply say that in the beginning, 1 was given birth. 1 gave birth to 2, 2 gave birth to 3, and once we have 3, we have the whole universe. Now, as it turns out, all manifestation in the universe, what I mean by that is from having an idea or conceiving something to the time we get an end result, there's 9 stages. If we look at the Trinity, there's only 3 stages. But to really understand the process of going from an idea to a final product or something in concrete reality, we move through 9 stages. Each of those 9 stages, 3 of them are in the first third of the year, 3 of them are in the middle third of the year, and 3 of the stages are in the last third of the year. Now, the first 3 stages refer to personality types. If we're looking at an ego-based personality survey that you can take online and just say what your preferences are, or a soul type, which is based on what segment of the zodiac or which segment of the astrological year you're born into, and which 40-day segment. Each 40-day segment represents a soul type. And we each have a soul type and we have an ego personality type. And the first 3 types are governed by the early phase of the year. Sometimes the first type is called the initiator. Sometimes it's called the reformer. Each segment of the 9 has a name, much like the astrology names, but they're not. We don't refer to them in astrological terms. They're referred to in terms of Enneagram terms. Then there's the middle three thirds. We have the middle third, the 4th, 5th, and 6th segments of the year that fall in the middle third of the year, each being 40 days. And then we have the last 3 segments of the year, 7, 8, and 9, and they refer to Enneagram types as well. The 9th stage happens to refer to the peacemaker. That's when everything has been completed and it's time to make peace with all of life. But before we get to the completion stage, and at the beginning with the reform stage or the initiation stage, there's all these stages in between, and we can step back and say, okay, how does this relate to the process of manifestation? Well, it relates in the following way. Anytime there's an idea, or anytime we study something, anytime we contemplate something, anytime we bring forth any kind of idea into concrete reality, we go through these 9 steps. We do so quickly sometimes that we don't give thought to what we're doing. Even if we have a dream, or we have a vision, or we have any kind of contemplation of any subject, we go through stages of manifestation. If we slow them down, we can see that the process of inner observation leads to outer manifestation. And that's the nature of the cycle. Once we get to the outer manifestation, we may think we're done, but we're not done. What we've done is started a process that we have to start all over again once we get to the end. So that's my introduction to the Trinity. And as we go into additional videos, I will present more details of how the names came about, how they're related to the planets, and how everything in life is related to these 9 stages, the life cycles, the life stages, etc. So with that, I'm going to conclude, and I'll catch up with you next time. Thank you.